It's personal between me, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, and I wanted to get my thoughts out there on this particular subject because it looks like my main man, Filip Hrgovic, El Animal, it looks like he's gonna finally get his moment of glory at some point early next year when he may be fighting for the IBF vacant title if Usyk and Fury do a rematch. The IBF already said they're not going to allow the belt to be involved for a rematch. So it'll become vacant, and he will fight the next available contender, which happens to be Anthony Joshua for the vacant IBF title. So he'll get his chance at glory. Now, I wanted to make this video to pretty much explain to you guys where I'm coming from, my perspective and my insights as to why I think so highly of Hrgovic and why I think that not only can he beat Anthony Joshua, but any heavyweight in the world, and that includes Usyk and Fury. I think extremely highly of Hrgovic. I think Hrgovic has all the tools and the mental makeup to, when it's all said and done and the smoke clears, be the last one standing, to be the best heavyweight in the world. A la, Vitaly Klitschko, Vladimir Klitschko. I kind of feel like he's the third long-lost Klitschko brother from Croatia. That's kind of how I feel when it comes to Hrgovic. But let me tell you guys why I feel like he matches up well with any heavyweight in the world. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to experience, because at the end of the day, you guys gotta understand this about boxing. Boxing is a sport of repetition. The more reps you get, the more repetition, the more experience you get, the better chance you're gonna have to be the best fighter you could be. That's just how it goes. And when it comes to amateur experience, I don't think, apart from Usyk, probably no heavyweight in the world has more high-level amateur experience than Filip Hrgovic. He has high-level amateur experience going all the way back to 2011 because he competed in the World Amateur Championships 3 times, 2011, 2013, and 2015. So anybody knows anything about the amateur boxing scene at the world level knows that the World Amateur Championships is about as high as it can get. He was a 2016 Olympian for his native country of Croatia, where he captured a bronze medal. So that's obviously more high-level amateur experience. And then when it comes to gym experience, he did training camps with Vladimir Klitschko. He did training camps with David Haye. He's actually the reason why Tyson Fury didn't fight David Haye. He gave David Haye a big-ass cut in sparring, and that's why David had to pull out the Tyson Fury fight. Fun fact there. And then he also had the infamous sparring session with Deontay Wilder. So he's boxed and sparred at the elite level of boxing as an amateur and a young prospect, and probably done it at a higher level than just about anybody in the entire division. That's first and foremost, right? Reason number 2, I think is a big reason why I think, even for me, my confidence has actually grown in Hrgovic over the last 2 fights. For a lot of people, their confidence in Hrgovic has wavered in the last 2 fights. My confidence has grown because he's gotten 24 rounds in with 2 undefeated, high-risk, low-reward southpaw fighters. And southpaw fighters that do different things. First, it was Zhang. We know Zhang is a dangerous, power-punching southpaw, the likes of which boxing at that weight class I don't think has ever seen, right? And we saw Hrgovic get hit with some flush shots in that fight. He was able to weather the storm, and he even showed he made some great adjustments in that fight. Took the jab away from Zhang in the second half of the fight, concentrated on the body, and I thought I actually performed very well from round 7 to 12 of that fight, which is why I think he won the fight. A very close fight, but I thought he won the fight, right? And then Dempsey McKean, a younger heavyweight, but a guy that came to survive, but was athletic and crafty, and those guys are hard to stop. We saw it with Canelo recently. Canelo couldn't stop Charlo because Charlo was in survival mode. We've seen it with Jeron Ennis and Karen Chukajan. We've seen it with Julio Cesar Martinez and that one Spanish dude he fought. A lot of fighters at a high level, they fight fighters that come in to survive, and they can't necessarily show the extra bit of quality against that type of opponent. But with Hrgovic, he was able to get the knockout against a guy that came to survive, which I think speaks a lot to his ability to execute a game plan, right? So, yeah, there's that. That leads me into the fact that I think his ring awareness and his ability to take a jab away from a fighter is one of the best in the division. Zhang, particularly in the Zhang fight, Zhang had a lot of success closing the gap on Hrgovic with the jab. Zhang had a lot of success landing that right, landing the uppercut and whatnot and the straight left hand early in that fight. But the reason why Zhang had a harder time in the second half of the fight was because Hrgovic was able to take the jab away and smother him and just keep his attack not predictable. It was consistent, but it wasn't predictable. Sometimes he'd go to the head, sometimes he'd go to the body, sometimes he'd counter. But he wasn't predictable throughout the 12 rounds, which I think rendered the Zhang jab ineffective in the fight. Same thing goes for Dempsey McKean. In that fight, he was able to outbox him in many rounds of that fight. So his boxing IQ, which comes from the amateur experience and the gym experience, and his ability to take away a fighter's jab, I think makes him a tough matchup for any heavyweight in the division. And then, especially when you're talking about him against any southpaw fighter like Usyk or even a Zhang rematch, his straight right hand is his best punch. I would actually say his straight right hand is even better than his jab. His jab is catching up to his straight right hand, but his straight right hand still remains the dominant punch in his punch arsenal. And that's always going to be a big thing for him whenever he fights a southpaw fighter, because as you know, the straight right hand is a southpaw killer. And then I think another underrated part about Hrgovic at this stage of his career is the fact that he's had now 2 training camps under Ronnie Shields. When he gets ready to fight Joshua for the IBF title, which I think is going to be the scenario in which it plays out, I ultimately think it's going to be his 3rd training camp. It'll be his 3rd training camp with Ronnie Shields, and now they have time in the gym. There's more familiarity. He understands what Ronnie Shields wants for him. Ronnie Shields understands what Hrgovic's personality is like, and that dynamic between trainer and fighter, it takes a couple of training camps to learn. And then by this point, this is where you get your ideas and your philosophies and your game plans fully implemented. So he's at that stage now, and I think that bodes well for him going into the AJ fight. And one thing I liked in the Dempsey McKean fight, and I talked about it on the live and in the post-fight review for that fight, is the fact that Hrgovic threw a bit of a different punch that we don't normally see him throw. If you really pay attention to the punches he likes to throw, in the Dempsey McKean fight, he threw more of an overhand right. And normally Hrgovic, he's got a jab, he's got a straight right hand, he's got a right hand of the body that he uses. Sometimes he uses the left hook, but the overhand right wasn't a punch I really seen him throw a lot, and he was able to throw it quite a lot, and it had a lot of success, and it kept Dempsey McKean a bit more honest. So just seeing that alone shows me that they've been working diligently in the gym to get some new things, some new tools implemented into the Hrgovic skill set. So when we talk about Hrgovic, what exactly are we talking about? Well, you're talking about a fighter that has elite boxing IQ and experience. You're talking about a fighter that has been tested and has the durability and the punch resistance, because if you look at what Zhang has done to Joe Joyce 2 times, and you look at what he was hitting Hrgovic with all those in their fights, you can't question his durability. You can't question his gas tank because of what he was able to sustain in the Zhang fight. And Zhang is about the hardest punch. He might be the hardest punch in the whole heavyweight division, for crying out loud. So elite ring awareness, elite IQ, elite durability and a fortitude to keep going forward. Also, you're talking about... Yeah, I was saying, he's got an elite coach behind him, Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields understands heavyweight boxing. He's trained guys like David Tua and Mike Tyson and things like that. And F.A. Jagba for a little bit, I believe, as well. So he knows heavyweight boxing. He knows how to train a heavyweight fighter. And not all great coaches can train heavyweights. So that's an important thing for Hrgovic and any heavyweight, right? And then on top of that, look at the rest of the division. Look at Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is 36. He'll be 37 in January. Tyson Fury is 35. He'll be 36 next August. Anthony Joshua, I think Anthony Joshua is about 32 or 33. How old is Anthony Joshua? He's got to be 32 or 33. Anthony Joshua's 33, and he'll be 34. He'll be 34. Anthony Joshua will be 34 in less than 10 days from now. So the rest of the division is aging. Hrgovic is maturing. He's improving. He's getting the right amount of experience in the professional ranks. It just spells... I just think with all these things I mentioned to you guys, there really isn't any reason he can't compete or defeat any heavyweight in the world. And that includes Tyson Fury. That includes Oleksandr Usyk. That includes anyone you want to think of. Zhang again if you want. I think if Zhang ever comes up again, he's gonna put Zhang out next time because he's grown since the first Zhang fight. So yeah, I thought this for a long time about Hrgovic, that he had the ingredients to be a big factor in boxing. But my confidence has increased over these last 2 fights against Zhang Zhilei and Dempsey McKean. And I think it'll continue to increase when he fights Anthony Joshua, because I've always been adamant, when he fights Anthony Joshua, he's going to beat the brakes off of him. And that'll probably be Anthony Joshua's last fight. Honest to God. I've always thought that. So let me know what you guys think. I know I'm going to get some interesting comments here, but those are my reasons as to why I talk about Hrgovic, why I do, and why I think he can defeat any heavyweight in the world. And I do think next year will be the year Hrgovic. It will be the year that Croatia gets its long-awaited world champion to be crowned in the heavyweight division in El Animal, Filip Hrgovic. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.